RingGangRadio.com. Take over. Last mission. Final boss mode.
Yeah, what's good, yo? Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where as always, the shit's real, we talk about it. I'm your host for tonight, Pat Scorpion, the New England representative, and as always, I got my man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Yo, what it do? LB Lauderdale boss, Shuttleworth the God, GOAT artist, Soul Wars creator, RingGangRadio.com in the building.
Yes, sir. Ring Gang in the house forever and always. And as always, I got my other man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Yo, what's good? You already know who it is. Your boy King P, Bodega Boxer in the building. Ring Gang Radio, what up? Let's go.
Hey, Bodega P, straight from the sewer. Although you're not in the sewer today, am I correct? You actually you got out early.
Yeah, I got out early. I took care of all the rats early, so.
You nigga stubbed his toe like onto the podcast. I mean, before I knew it, I was laughing. I was like, this nigga said, "Oh." I thought I was listening to a mystical song, like the man right here.
Nigga so silly, yo. But yeah, as always, though, we do salute you for your service, cleaning up all the rats in the city. Except although there is that one rat, that rainbow hair color rat that's still walking around.
All I know is these rats ain't going. They're not gonna soar me.
No, absolutely not. Soar you.
Yeah, you're not gonna have me slump like Chocolatito. And if you do, I'm gonna bounce back.
No, that's real talk, though. That's the
Rat
King. The Rat King, yes. We
Speaking of Rat Kings,
yes. Definitely. Obviously, we do have a big fight this coming weekend, and probably the biggest fight that's been made so far. And and hopefully it does live up to it. Of course,
we actually have two big fights. If we gotta throw out the two big fights because McCaskill Breakers.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a rematch. That's a good rematch.
Oh no, I mean I'll get to that later, but I got right now I want to throw some respect not on those two, but also on the Four Kings too, because I feel that there's a lack of respect for 115 and Four Kings as of late. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, we'll definitely throw some respect on McCaskill and Breakers though. But I want to talk about the fight that the fight that really buzz it.
Yes, it really, which is true, which is all facts.
Yeah, I'm talking about, of course, Ramon, Chocolatito, Gonzalez, and Juan Estrada. This is a rematch of all things. And obviously when I say the Four Kings now, there ain't no Four King shit at 135. We said this plenty of times. You know why? Because they haven't fought each other and they can't make the fights to happen. Meanwhile, with the Four Kings at 115, this is, I believe, the 9th variation of the four combinations that are going that's happened. And it all started originally with Chocolatito Estrada 1. And that was a hell of a scrap too. I mean,
that felt like years ago, but it was
that's like, I think that's like 9 years ago, 8 or 9 years
2012, 2013.
Yeah, 2012, and it's the and now I'm gonna drop a little bit of some fights now for those who keep asking what are some good fights to watch. Well, I'm gonna list all 9 of these fights from the Four Kings of 115, starting with that one. This is the first one, and this is the only one that wasn't at super fight. This was at flyweight of all things, and that shit was a competitive scrap. And some might say this is Estrada's only real loss as a fighter. I think all of us can agree on that.
Yeah, because I thought he should have beat Rat King the first fight.
Yeah, because Estrada
Rat King be getting some damn scorecard love. I don't know what the fuck it is, but. I swear to I thought God's gracious with him on them scores.
I thought Estrada beat him both times.
That's what I thought Chocolatito beat him the first time. I thought Estrada beat him twice.
See, and like I say, and Chocolatito, and then obviously that's a win for Chocolatito. That's actually grown over the years. As like I said, Estrada, he was like 15th ranked, and he gave Chocolatito all that gave all that trouble. So that was plus. And then of course you have Cuadras and Sora Rungvisai. Now, if we were gonna compare that fight to the original Four Kings, this is like the Leonard Duran 3 type of fight.
Oh god.
It's not no, and this is real talk. Cuadras actually handled that dude better than both Estrada and Chocolatito. Like he really did. But it's not the most exciting fight in the world.
He has a different set of skills. Like he's more like athletic with the footwork.
Yeah, and this was prime. This is also prime Cuadras too. This is Cuadras that wasn't deteriorated or anything like that. This was this Cuadras was on point. Pretty much the only Four King fight of his that was on point. And he won. He took away and he ended Sora Rungvisai's first reign at Super Flyweight, which then brings us to Cuadras Chocolatito, which is a war. It's a war and a half. It's probably the first classic out of the Four King shit. Yeah,
because you got pressure fighting versus back foot boxing.
Yeah, and those two
classic style contrast.
Yeah, and those two beat the ever-loving shit out of each other. Like this shit, and it's not hyperbole either. Like they really knocked some,
That fight took the last of Chocolatito's like prime, like.
And it sure as hell took Cuadras's too.
It finished Cuadras' prime, like. But I'm not gonna say. This fight didn't take Chocolatito's prime. The next fight did, but this was the fight where you saw his limit.
Yeah, Chocolatito, this is where he became, and that was the fight where he became a 4-division champion. He took Cuadras' belt away, and then we go to the penultimate fight, Chocolatito versus Sora Rungvisai, and this, and I don't think Chocolatito ever came in at 100% again, really, on his health meter. And now this is the all-time classic for me. When you can outshine Triple G in his main event, you did something. This one was bloody and violent.
Yeah.
This is where Chocolatito realized that his power. I mean, few people could walk through that nigga's shots, and Sora Rungvisai was walking right through them. He
was walking through like combos, getting lit up. Like he was walking through 4 and 5 punch combos that land one slow ass thudding left.
But the thing is, though, Chocolatito was getting lumped up by those shots big time. Like, I mean, he got brutalized, and even then, I thought Chocolatito won.
He still outworked them and should have won.
Yeah, I know.
I think it was an obvious win.
But I think the judges were probably swayed by the amount of damage that Chocolatito received in that one. But one thing's for sure, though, Chocolatito absorbed a lot of punishment in that fight, and and which led to the rematch, in which Sora Rungvisai knocks Chocolatito out in four rounds. Like it was not even a contest. Chocolatito got beat down.
You could tell with opening bell when when Chocolatito goes into the fight, like you could tell he's not there. Like that was the whole, because he had personal shit going on too.
Yeah, he had a lot of personal shit going on, and he probably had some burnout too. I mean, you have 2 wars like he had in a row with Cuadras and Sora Rungvisai. Yeah, I mean something had to give, and he
can't have all those fights like that,
No, and then of course we have Carlos Estrada won, Francisco Estrada won in that one, and for some reason those two, like it's hard to separate those two. In the first fight, only a knockdown got Estrada the win in that one. That one was dumb close. Like he only won by 1 on all 3 cards in the first fight, and that shit was a phone booth too. Ridiculous phone booth. And then after that, you have the rematch, which was like one of the fight of the years from last year, in which Cuadras nearly turned back the hands of time, and had Estrada in some trouble before Estrada rallied to actually knock Cuadras out, because Cuadras decided.
And Estrada in more trouble than he ever had Chocolatito.
Yeah.
You wish he heard Chocolatito that bad.
I'm saying.
Chocolatito almost ran him out the ring, man. Like,
yeah,
I swear, that's a fight where someone gets carried. You want to see a fight where somebody gets carried fast, and they fight back with it? Then yeah, that's the fight. But yeah, you just listed some damn good fades.
Yeah, this is like I said. I mean, this is what Four King shit sounds like what it is. Like you're supposed to, when you have all these top fighters, they have rematches and some even trilogies. Actually, no, there are no trilogies.
They're not even like, look, man, Ryan Campbell and all them jits, they not even seeing like the damn the bantamweight tournament, like with Abner Mares and all of them. Like,
yeah, with Darchini and Perez and Abeko.
Like
yeah.
Becco, like we like honestly, that gets fucking low key, forgotten.
Yeah.
Cause we had some fights out of that bunch.
Absolutely. But the difference between that one and the bantamweight is Showtime actually went, actually put some actual effort behind it. Whereas the fights we just listed, like, I mean, some of them were on HBO. Like, this is when HBO was actually trying to make, pushing 115, which is probably one of the last good things that they did prior to not airing boxing. But they never had, Superfly never had the push that the Bantams had like that.
They didn't have it wasn't an official push.
Mm-hmm.
It was more like a like, I guess 50 Cent Power of $1. like it was out there and it's buzzing, but it wasn't no like, well, it's official.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the damn CDs you get from FYE back in the day. Like, damn, I never seen this Cormega CD. What, the Hustler rapper? What is this? But that shit was fire though.
It was, and this is fire. So, which now brings us to this, this next iteration of the Four Kings with Chocolatito Estrada 2. Now, obviously, this time there's a lot more on this. There's a lot more on the line than in their first fight. First of all, it's a unification. Being Estrada is not only the WBC champion, he's also the lineal champion now in this division. Oh, wait a minute. Actually, I almost forgot to mention, yes, the Estrada Chocolatito, the Estrada Rungvisai fights. And these are the ones where me and LB have some discuss. Well, the first fight, at least, we both, I think Rungvisai won. He thinks he didn't. And Pete also thinks he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it was still a good ass fight though, and I think in Sorghum's fight he won it, the first one by like a close majority of decision. But the second fight though, he definitely lost it. Sorghum's fight definitely lost that shit. And he lost it because he decided, he wanted to fight Orthodox for some odd reason.
Yeah, for like 8-9 rounds or something.
Yeah. And then once he stopped doing that shit, he actually won the rest of the fucking rounds, but it was too fucking late because I was trying to bank too many rounds. So there were still good fights though, and that's how Estrada became the lineal champion at 115. So now Chocolatito and Estrada, you have WBA, WBC, and the lineal status on there. So LB, what are your thoughts about this fight?
It's terrific.
Okay, Adam. Okay, proceed.
Yeah, this is a terrific matchup. Is literally the first big super fight of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've had some fights, but nothing really. Like I would say Campbell Garcia was like the first significant fight.
Right.
It wasn't no super fight.
It wasn't a super fight, but it was a big step up fight for Ryan Garcia in terms of where he was.
Right. So that had all our eyes. But this is a legit super fight, and both guys are coming off of good performances. They got a history. This is what boxing's all about. This is what you want to see. Like Pat said, the stakes are much higher this time because now one guy is solidifying all-time great status.
Mm-hmm.
The other guy is trying to solidify Hall of Fame status.
Yeah.
So they both win.
I think we know which one is which.
Yeah.
Although truthfully, if Estrada wins, then he'd be the first to actually have victories over the other three kings in the division, and he would probably be knocking on the door for Hall of Fame. Like he would have to be.
Yeah,
at that point.
He definitely would be.
And
Chocolatito, I honestly feel he's an all-time great, but for the detractors out there,
there's a lot of detractors, and believe me, there's a lot of detractors on Chocolatito's status on what he accomplished.
Why? How can you not like Chocolatito? Like, that's ridiculous.
He's too little. He's too little.
Yeah, he's too little. Well, he fight. Who cares about the decisions he fights? There's no competition. They fight. Yeah, they fight everyone. Jeez, I didn't know that was such a negative. You know, they have to. They don't hurt each other when they're clearly.
You're boxing hype beast.
Yeah, this is when you know, like when you say stuff like this, but you can't really name you can't really name anyone in that division significant or this is significant.
Oh man,
fight.
Roman Gonzalez ain't fighting nobody. Get out of here. Then I'm like, you know who Brian Valori is? Nah. You know who Kudras is? Nah. Who that? You know Estrada? No. Like, come on, like.
So it's like basically we're talking to the, like, if you remember Family Guy's episode of the stubborn donkey. No.
Facts.
Absolutely facts.
And it's like we get tired of having to go through this, so it's like a lot of times we try not to even speak boxing with lower vibrational fans.
That's also a fact. Unless they're willing to actually open their ears and actually learn something. You know what I'm saying? But
and
you know,
I might learn something from them. Like, you know, it's a two-way street. You know, you gotta respect each other. But just to dismiss Roman Gonzalez because you don't watch that weight class.
Or the biggest thing with him was because, you know, obviously when HBO was actually pushing the dude, you know, they were actually pushing 115. You know, they were pushing. You know, he was getting the pound for pound love, and you know, there's some people that didn't want to hear about no damn flyweight. You know, being
how's he the best in the world when he's the size of my daughter? Like,
yeah, no,
it doesn't work like that.
You know, it's like, and it was retired too, because, you know, because he was fighting on the HBO cards. You know, HBO by then was like the mortal enemy of certain people.
I feel like it's funny because Chocolatito was fighting on the undercards for Triple G, so it's like the Triple G hate kind of sprinkled down on Chocolatito.
It low-key did.
Yeah, it definitely did. And, you know,
two of the best pressure fighters in boxing.
Yeah, and they actually had good fights in their main events and co-main events. Message, you know, so it's like
good numbers,
good numbers, good ratings, all that shit. But, you know, they were like, oh well, you know, what about Ward? What about Floyd? What about Crawford? You know, what about Vlad?
Roman Gonzalez is so good, like in a pound for pound sense. If he was the size of Floyd, Pacquiao, all these guys, he would be like legit. They would be going life and death with him, if not losing. I look at Castillo and Floyd. Chocolatito's a much better fighter than them, Jose Castillo.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And Castillo's a very good fighter. He Hall of Fame level to me, but. It's night and day, like, so, you know, look at it in that sense.
Right, but you know, there's some people that, you know, they have their blinders on, and like they don't want to give Chocolatito his props. You know, I mean, basically Chocolatito would have to probably go up to like 126 or something like that, maybe to get his props. You know,
yeah, because they barely give him monster props.
Yeah, of course, yeah, you know. You know, so it is actually kind of sad for people that call themselves boxing fans are actually really fronting Chocolatito like they do. You know, and Chocolatito, even now, for him to actually be in the position right now in this particular fight is amazing too. Because, like I said, a lot of people wrote him up. I wrote him up because, like I said, you know, you see the damage that he took in his biggest fight, you're thinking that he's done. But dude managed to come back. He knocked off an undefeated champion at 115 by
one of the best wins last year in the sport.
Exactly. You know, to have another brand super flyweight champion, and then Estrada. You know, Estrada's been leveling up. Like, Estrada has been like going balls to the walls with some of the ass whoopings he's been handing out.
I mean, my opinion, if I'm going to keep it real, the funny part is, even though Chocolatito's kind of been written off as like the older, like declining fighter, I thought that Chocolatito looked fresher in his last 2 fights than Estrada did.
Yeah, and I was about to get to that too, because I mean, as we mentioned before, like since the 4 Kings have actually, but like all the 4 Kings at 150 right now are they all have mileage on them. Like you can see them. Like Quadras is pretty much finished, as you know. So Rungvisai is probably nearing to the point where he might be crossing over. Probably one more hard fight. Estrada has been looking more vulnerable, like I said, because you didn't think that a shot Quadras could actually do what he did. I mean, Quadras almost knocked him out. So I mean. Estrada, although he has these wins, he's not. I mean, he has his wear and tear too. And Chocolatito too is still a question mark. Still.
Yeah, I don't think it's a question mark. We know where Chocolatito's at right now.
Because I mean, this is and honestly, it's because of that. Like I've had a hard time thinking like, who do I think is good now? Like, my heart is telling me that Estrada will probably win this fight. You know, I mean,
but the way he was hurt against Kudras,
exactly, is like no, I didn't like the
Chocolatito's pressure is like second to none, really.
Yeah, like I mean, because Estrada he has a good chin, but he doesn't have a sort of Rungvisai type of chin. You know, so it's like, I mean, Quadras handed up. I mean, he got his ass whooped in the end, but it's just like I saw Estrada, I was like, man, Estrada might be getting a little long in the tooth himself. So I've had a hard time going back because I still can't decide who I think is going to win, but I still
I know who I think is going to win.
Well, who do you think is going to win, P?
Yeah. All right, you know what? I'll say it like this. Ready? Mm-hmm. Chocolate. I'm going Chocolatito all the way. My heart and head is both saying Chocolatito.
Oh, you smoking that chocolate pack?
Yeah, sweet.
You said so. And I just vibe out. Tell us why while I vibe out.
I just feel like I mentioned before, I feel like he's honestly been the more fresher fighter in the past couple of fights. I think even though Estrada's still there, I just feel like Chocolatito's still gonna turn back the hands of time, and we're gonna have a war. Like I think it's gonna be a war. And I just feel like we're gonna see some of the old Chocolatito, and he's gonna pressure, and he's gonna be really bringing the fight to Estrada. And I think it's gonna be an ebb and flow, but I just feel it. I just feel like Chocolatito, and we might even see him drop him. Like I think he'll drop him. Honestly, whether he gets the stoppage or not, I see a droppage. A knockdown, at least for Chocolatito.
Damn, you more convinced than I am.
Well,
the only knock for me, I feel like the only thing is I feel like Chocolatito's defense has slipped a bit. I don't feel like he's not as sharp defensively as he used to be, which could cause some problems. But I think it's sufficient enough.
Well, yeah, because in his last fight, I remember saying that he got touched a little bit more than I thought he actually would against, was it Gonzalez, Israel Gonzalez? Yeah, I thought he was getting touched a little bit more than I was used to. But although Chocolatito still put it in the second gear and still beat the crap out of that dude.
He did.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, I don't think Chocolatito want his defense to be slipping against Estrada though, and that's the thing that keeps that's the thing that keeps me going. Who do I want to win? Like, I honestly still can't make up my mind.
I'm stuck right now.
You stuck?
Like both, too.
Yeah, because it's really hard. It's just like you guys. I mean, like I said, I'm leaning more towards Estrada, but like Pete said, I didn't. The Quadras fight would have me thinking like, this is interesting, you know, and Chocolatito himself had at least had some fights, at least to get his mind and his body right after the Sir Rungvisai wars.
The funny thing is,
just had a bad run, really.
The funny thing is that, like, because I watched the first fight recently, and like Chocolatito did, like in the first fight, Chocolatito didn't even really start finding Estrada with that hook until like late in the fight. I want to say like the 9th round or something like that. Yeah. If he can get to him earlier, oh boy. then it's in his favor.
But I think the pressure is what opened that hook up more.
Yeah.
They was going tooth and nail for it, like for the first 8 rounds.
They were.
That's the thing, and then eventually, and then Chocolatito separated himself late. If he can do it earlier, then his chances increase.
Yeah, but this is 2021. His chances already kind of decreased. Remember, Chocolatito going in this fight at 90% at most.
Yeah.
We're not gonna see the one that went balls to the wall against Quadras.
Yeah, no, that one, yeah. I mean, and they're both in their 30s. Like, Chocolatito is the older man by 3 years. Like, so, I mean, it's still a thing. Like, Chocolatito can still show his age in this fight.
He's been showing his age, but he's just been amazing. I think we like kind of fell in love with the comeback story of it all. But King P brought some compelling points.
Yeah.
So what's your official prediction then?
Me, my official prediction?
Yeah.
You know what? As much as I am picking Chocolatito, and I still am, I think it's going to be very close, and I honestly can see a split decision. Like, it could be that close.
Man, I think I might have to throw some on that draw. Shit.
I wasn't going to say, I don't predict draws. I don't like to predict draws, but I mean...
I don't, but they happen too fucking much nowadays.
Yeah,
a draw is like shit. I remember Floyd Pacquiao. I legit thought that was gonna be a draw because I felt like they was gonna. For as much as they finally took to make that fight, I was like, shit. If this is remotely close, these motherfuckers is gonna bend the damn scorecards. They're gonna do something.
Absolutely.
So
I don't even think that was a bad prediction.
True. I could see like I don't know. It's gonna be like a 115, 113 type of win.
Yeah.
And I still think
the first fight was like that too in a way.
And I still think he'll drop him. So
we looking at 115,
112, 115, 112. Yes.
And one judge I have it like 114, 113.
Yeah.
So you're looking at split decision, Chocolatito in a thrilling barn burner that some might semantic battle you and say could have gone either way.
Yes. Essentially, yes. You know me too well.
And you know me too well. You took my yes ad lib like yes.
Yes.
You gotta spit bars after that. I'm gonna roam to hear this on Spotify later and be like, what the fuck?
Chocolatito with that hook like Tito. He's gonna hit Estrada, and then it's gonna be finito.
Hey.
Ooh, bars. Ring gang. This is brought to you by the Ring Gang Association. Void where prohibited.
Okay. No fighting allowed.
What's your prediction?
Oh man, see, like I said, I mean, you know what? I'm gonna go with my.
We all can't pick the same guy. Remember that.
No, nigga. No.
We'll all be wrong.
Yeah, no. I'm honestly, I'm gonna go with Estrada with this one. I just feel like Estrada will probably put it. I think Estrada will probably have the fight of his life in this one. Like, I think. No, I think Estrada will probably be motivated to actually try to get that get back, and I am thinking that, he will make Chocolatito show his age, and I'm thinking that Estrada will probably put away Chocolatito late in the fight.
Ooh, I can see that.
But see, here's the thing. Like, I don't know. It's just weird when I keep hearing about this age thing. And yes, Chocolatito is a bit older than Estrada, but it's not like Estrada is a fresh 30 either.
Nah, he's about a King P 30. But Chocolatito ain't he ain't no LB.
Yeah, he ain't a fresh 33 either. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I mean, 50 plus fights, that shit will do it to you. You know what I mean? So,
and it's one of those things we all know that one of the cons of the lower tier fighters, the lower weight fighters, is like once they start hitting 30, it's whoop.
Yeah. It's either once they either hit the or and they start going up in weight too.
Once they start hitting 27.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's more like 27, 28. You're right.
Yeah.
30 is like, if you ain't have these big fights yet, what are you doing?
Yeah, because usually, I mean, it's very rare that you see. I mean, like I said, there are anomalies like a
There's no Andres at that weight. Is what we're trying to say. You're not gonna Andres your way, at 115 to 30 years old, and like, man, why? How come Estrada ain't fighting me?
Mm-hmm.
Soren V-side, where you at? Put down that rat. Face me in the ring, like.
Yeah, there's none of that though. But I think I'm definitely gonna go for Estrada, knock Chocolatito out in the late rounds. I'm thinking maybe an 11th round knockout.
Ooh. Damn. So LB, what do you think? I don't know. Let me see.
He interviewing himself.
Get my Roy Jones on. It's a Florida thing.
Yeah.
See, Shuttleworth acknowledges that Chocolatito's older. But I look at it like this. Okay, real shit. I'm gonna get serious on it. I think Estrada is coming into this fight at like maybe 95%.
Okay.
I think Gonzalez is coming in at 90%.
Mm-hmm.
Estrada definitely looks fresher.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like he's still in his little rough patch. Or he's possibly entering one. Quadras has a way of making people go to their limit.
That's a perfect way of putting it.
And if we go at history, he did that to Chocolatito, and Chocolatito lost his next fight.
He sure
Even
did.
though officially lost.
Mm-hmm.
But, he had the same type of push it to the limit fight regardless. Estrada just had one of those fights.
Sure did.
And he wildered, Saunders himself out of it. For a better way of putting it.
Facts.
It looks like Estrada is the better puncher right now in this point in their careers. But we don't know who's taking the better shots. Chocolatito, I don't see the snap on his shots like we used to.
Mm-mm.
So if it's not the pressure, the intensity, I don't know if it's going to be the firepower that does it.
Or if he has the stamina to maintain that type of pressure.
Yeah, like I think he does. But you don't want it to be where the fight could look like the Castaño Teixeira type of fight.
Right.
Now, I'm just saying how the fight would look if Gonzalez can't really put a dent in Estrada. Because Quadras hit hard and he's physically bigger than Gonzalez.
Yep.
Same thing with Soren Visai. See, when Gonzalez and Estrada fought the first time, you had one guy who was prime peak. The other guy was peaking.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
So they was closer to the same level. Now the pendulum swung differently. Like, so it's really hard, man. A part of me want to say Estrada might overwhelm him with the harder shots, but if Roman Gonzalez could take him, his pressure might, do Estrada in.
Yeah, we might have a good old-fashioned war of attrition.
Yeah, so it's really hard. Like,
if it's a war of attrition, I'm favoring Chocolatito even more.
You know what? The way his fights have been trending, I could see where King P is coming from, because he wasn't supposed to win. You know, the Kafai fight.
Yeah, no, yeah, he was not. He definitely wasn't. I didn't think he would.
And he came in there strong, kept the momentum. He made an undefeated guy. Like, he stopped the undefeated guy.
Yeah, Cali fight, and probably because Cali fight at that point wasn't really fighting the type of competition that he should have been fighting.
But Cali-Fi is supposed to be the younger, better punching guy, though.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely.
And remember, Quadras hasn't been looking good for a while, and he just gave Estrada all he could handle.
Yeah.
So unless we're arguing that that's a trap fight.
Yeah, see that it's so. That's why it's like this. There's so many variables with this because you just don't know which variable will show up.
Because this is the thing. This is a prediction. It's not like you gambling and you're like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna put a little something on this."
Mm-hmm.
You up here like really seeing how this fucking fight gonna end. You know what? Chocolatito decision.
Okay.
Majority decision.
All right. Yeah, majority.
One somebody's gonna have it a draw, then somebody else is gonna have his King P scores 115, 113, 114, 113.
Or you're gonna have some crazy score like a 117, 111 thrown in there somewhere.
No, let's not ruin it.
I don't think no one's gonna. I don't think we're gonna
9 rounds. Nobody's winning 9 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not about no one's winning 9 rounds. Is a judge gonna see 9? See, that's the thing. Is I can't. You know, the judges are the X factor, but that's my Chocolatito by majority decision. You know, close fight. But part of me feels like Estrada could knock him out late. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Pat gets this one. But then I guess like Roman Gonzalez done proved me wrong before, and
yeah, see, I
it's
mean,
like he never proven me. Like I don't even put the first Rat King fight against him because I felt he got robbed in that. So it's not like he proved me wrong in that one. So yeah, I gotta say Roman Gonzalez majority decision. If we keep talking about this, I might say Estrada KO. So let's go.
Yeah. Now, and also too, like whoever does win this fight, they have. I mean, Sora Rungvisai is the mandatory. So we may either get the rubber match. You know, we get Sora Rungvisai Estrada 3, or we get a fight that probably should not happen. Sora Rungvisai Chocolatito 3.
I think he wants that too.
Why shouldn't it happen?
Yeah, don't even say that shit.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
I mean,
Soren Visa hasn't been looking great.
Yeah.
And the funny thing too, he's actually fighting Friday night. I mean, he's fighting one of his.
I was actually gonna say, wait, isn't he fighting like 2 this weekend?
Yeah, he's fighting this Friday on the Zone. I think he's fighting in the afternoon or something like that on the Zone. Like he's doing one of his career modes. You know, obviously waiting until
again.
Yeah, so
he's older than both those guys, so he's not. He hasn't been looking so hot. So
I don't think he's older than both of them. Let me double check that. He is. Oh, he is.
I think he's like 35.
Yeah, he's 34 actually. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he definitely hasn't because you know after the Estrada fight, dude. I mean, he fought Abner Rurong, you know, who's a damn, you know, who's like a flyweight, like a. And like went the distance with someone like and that dude is beyond faded and that didn't and they fought and they fought at super bantam. I mean I didn't like that fight and then he had a short 2-round fight in his last fight.
We're seeing how truly good he is, man. Like favorite like plot armor low key made this man career, yo. Yeah.
Now it depends. Now obviously if Sorgenfly loses his career mode fight on Friday, then we could probably forget about him actually being the mandatory for whoever wins. But yeah, I mean, at least it'll be good.
He'll win. He'll win. I gotta see him get one of these two legends. Gotta put him out. Like I hate how his name is brought up in the same breath as those two. Like nah.
The important thing is too is like all he needs, like honestly, all he needs is a Quadras win, and he complete the cipher. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
I mean, I kind of am and have a bad taste in my mouth because of Soar, because we didn't get, because if it wasn't for Soar, we would have gotten to see Chocolatito and Monster. But then again, that might be a good thing for Chocolatito that didn't happen.
Yeah, I think at that point,
I don't know about all that.
I mean, at that point, Monster probably would have put Chocolatito away. Like,
he would have definitely been a favorite, but the thing is, like, we don't know the psychological damage, the extent of psychological damage of losing that decision to Soren Visa the first time. Mm-hmm. I mentioned it as well with Meldrick Taylor and Chavez in the first fight. Like, those type of performances, you can't stand to lose those.
Especially one where you lost a good part of your prime and some blood and all types of other shit.
Yeah, and remember, he was already going through a bad little funk in his personal life. You lose a decision, you lose a fight like that? Nah, like, So I feel like, yeah, he could be the guy who gets a win over everybody, but I felt like the only win would be legit would be the second Chocolatito fight.
Yeah.
But then it's one of those Sam Peter James Tony fights where if y'all would have fucking scored it right the first time,
we wouldn't have needed a rematch.
Yeah, with a motherfucker that says, okay, you know what, I'm a beast mode, I'm gonna get all the fucking Dragon Balls and wish for the best performance of my life type shit.
Yeah, and the first fight too, Soren Riverside looked different. Like in the first fight, Soren Riverside, I mean, he had that hungry look at it, like he looked hungry, like he wasn't like, like dude was just hungry. In the second fight though, you can tell that nigga he was eating good. He was eating steak now. He wasn't eating no rat. This motherfucker.
Okay.
Yeah, and Chocolatito could not hurt him. He couldn't hurt him in the first fight. He damn sure wasn't hurting him in the second fight.
It was a whole. You never seen that version of Chocolatito ever.
Not at all.
It only exists for that second fight. I'm telling you, like.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting too. Like, I personally, I'd rather see the Estrada Soren Riverside 3. Like, I want to see the.
Nope.
I want to see the rubber match.
Nah, honestly, I want to see Chocolatito and Soren Visa 3.
Because it'll be messed up too. So I'm gonna say, hey, he knocked Chocolatito out again, and bam, he's back at the top. He's back at the top of 115.
Yeah, as others have said, as I've heard other people say, well, but maybe Soar is Chocolatito's version of Junior Jones.
I mean, it could be.
I don't think so. Like Junior Jones, like handled Barrera like twice. Like handled. Nah. Like Soren Visa only handled Chocolatito once. And once that shouldn't even have to happen. And then it's like it was obvious Chocolatito went in there not giving a fuck about that fight. Like it didn't look like he trained. He was pudgy. Like his come up was over the worst version of the guy ever.
Mm-hmm. And the guy on the world.
I mean, and it might sound like, damn, dude, like stop fucking caping, like sound like a stand, but. I mean, I'm being objective though. I'm saying all these is facts. Like,
he's been consistent with this. LB's been consistent with this, so it's nothing. This isn't like new or anything like that. He's been saying this ever since the fights actually happened.
So I mean, of course, I want some get back. I won't want to see this shit, but what happens. Damn, we could go on about this fight. This is boxing, folks.
Yeah, but let's actually go on to the rest of the fight. The other big fight on this card, and it is a big fight too.